Hi guys, I am Rishit Shah from Tally School, and in this video we are going to see how you can pass GST accounting entries in Tally. So there are two types of GST accounting entries which are used by the people most of the times, and they are GST sales entry and GST purchase entry. In this video specifically we are going to look at a GST sales entry in Tally, because GST purchase entry in Tally is almost identically same as GST sales entry, except that it is a purchase entry, so there will be a slight difference. Otherwise it is 99% same. The process, the method of creating the GST purchase entry is 99% same as GST sales entry. So once you learn GST sales entry here, you can apply your learning in the GST purchase entry and see if that works. So before I show you how you can create GST sales entry in Tally, we need to create certain ledgers and stock items for that. I've already created some of them, and so I will be using them, but I will show you what are the stock items and ledgers that you need. So first of all, let's go to accounts info, then ledgers, and then go to alter. So we need GST ledgers for calculating GST in Tally. Now there are two types of methods through which you can calculate automatically GST in Tally. There is a method which I explained long ago, which is input CGST, input SGST, and input IGST, and for sales, output CGST, output SGST, and output IGST. But if you want to even create an even more easy method, there is a method in which you just have to create a ledger for CGST, a ledger for SGST, and a ledger for IGST, and just use those ledgers at the end of the year, or at the end of the month, or at the end of the quarter, whatever your GST configuration may be. If the GST balance, CGST, SGST, or IGST balance is on the credit side of the balance sheet, then you have to pay the government because it is on the credit side, and if it is on the debit side, then you have to get a refund from the government, because debit means you have a refund, it is your asset. Credit means it is your liability and you have to pay it. So we are going to use that method, CGST, SGST, and IGST, because it is simple. So let me show you how you can create CGST ledger. So when you are in the ledger creation screen like this, you can go to the screen like this by going into accounts info, then ledgers, and then create under single ledger. So type the name CGST, under duties and taxes GST, then central tax because it is CGST, no, and then put it 0% here because we will calculate GST on the basis of the ledgers that we will create, and we will not calculate it, Tally will calculate it automatically. So that is it, rounding method not applicable, and just save this ledger. In the similar way you have to create SGST ledger. Let me show you. See, it is exactly the same, it is 0% here, GST and state tax because it is SGST. Similar way we have to create IGST ledger if it is interstate sales transaction, so 0% integrated tax, same, everything is same. Now we have the GST ledgers with us. Now we need a ledger for Sundry Debtor to whom we are selling. So let's create a ledger for Sundry Debtor named Rohan, and he is within our home state. So our state and the Rohan state is same, so it is going to be an intra-state transactions, and therefore we are going to use CGST and SGST in our transaction. So let's create a ledger for Rohan. So I'm in the ledger option, ledger menu. I will select create and I will type the name Rohan. It will be under Sundry Debtors. So Sundry Debtors, rupees, maintain the Bible, will keep it to no for now. Now if all these options are showing in your Tally, just leave it as it is, or no, because we are not going to use it right now. Okay, so state. So I'll select Gujarat because my state is also Gujarat, so it will be same state transaction. Then go ahead, and registration type for GST regular, or if it is other than regular you can select that as well. GST number, here you have to enter the GST number. I'll leave it blank here for this example because I don't have a real GST number, so it will anyway show error in Tally, so I'll leave it blank. Otherwise you have to enter the real GST number of your data. So enter and set auto GST details no. Okay, so we have created a ledger for Sundry debtors named Rohan. Now we need one more ledger for sales. So let's see if that ledger is available. So sales is available but not 12% because mobile that we are going to sell is 12% GST. So if I go into sale, okay, so let's create a ledger for sales. So we have to go to accounts info, ledgers, and create. So sales 12%. You can change this percentage 12% to any percentage you want. So for this example I'm just taking 12%. In reality there might be more or less percentage on mobiles, but for this example I'm taking 12%. So sales account, it will be under sales accounts. Inventory values are affected, yes. Type of ledger not applicable, and then keep all these things to no. GST applicable, yes, applicable. Set alter GST details, yes. So press Y and press enter. So we will come to the description. HSN, nothing. Is it is a non-GST good? No, so we'll keep it to no. Nature of transaction, we will keep it not applicable for now because there is a reason to it. If you keep here as non-applicable or not applicable, what Tally will do is it will pick up the GST details or the nature of transaction on the basis of your Sundry data and your state. So each time if you have a different Sundry data, this ledger can also be used. So if you put the nature of transaction here as, let's say, interstate sales taxable, so this ledger then only be available will only be available in the interstate sales transactions. It will not be available in the same state transactions which we are going to use right now. So it will be limited to these kinds of transactions only. But if you put not applicable, this one ledger will be available to all kinds of transactions in GST. So what we will do is put it not applicable here. Taxability, it is taxable, and reverse charge applicable, no. So integrated tax 12%, and that's why I have written in the name 12% as well. So on the basis of just name I can identify that this is sales with 12% GST applicable. So press enter, and supply type is goods, so we will select goods. TCS, put it undefined. We are not going to enter anything except GST here. So press enter and go ahead. So now we have created a sales ledger as well, and we have GST ledgers as well. We have sales and we have Sundry debtors ledger as well. Now we have to create a stock item called mobile, or I have already created a stock item called mobile. So I'll show you how you can create it and how you can configure it for GST. So from gateway of Tally, you have to go to inventory info because that's where all the details of the stock items are there. So stock items, and then you have to go to this option of create if you want to create, but I've already created, so I'll go to alter, and then here is the mobile. So first of all you have to write the name mobile, and you can also write here 12%, so we know that it is 12% GST. Primary, category not applicable, and okay, GST applicable, yes. So we will set out the GST details so I can show you. So press Y and press enter. So undefined, enter the HSN code because this is our product, this is not a service. If it is a service, you have to enter the SAC, that is services accounting code. So I've entered the HSN code 1234 just for the example. It is not the real HSN code, and it will be on value taxable. You will get this option of taxability. I am not getting it because I already done some entries using this stock item. So Tally will not Tally will not allow me to change this option right now. Is reverse charge applicable? No. Ineligible for input credit? No. And integrated tax 12%, 12, 6, 6 and 0. Goods. Okay. And then just create it. So I have some opening balance as well. You can enter the opening balance here also if you have opening balance. See, this is the space where you can enter the opening balance while you create a stock item in Tally. So okay, so I've created or altered a stock item. This is how you can create a stock item as well in Tally. So now we have all the ingredients ready to create a GST sales entry in Tally. Now, so let's create a GST sales entry in which the GST is automatically calculated. So we'll go to accounting vouchers and we are in the payment voucher. So we will select sales voucher from here, and okay, so your screen will look something like this. You may not see quantity, actual and billed column, otherwise it will look exactly like this. So first of all, we will select a date. So let's select date 1st April 2019. That's Monday. Okay, and leave the reference number blank. So first of all, party account name, so that is Rohan. We have already created a ledger for that, so we'll select Rohan. End of the list, there are no delivery note numbers. So here are some details which you, if you want to enter, you can enter the details. These are the dispatch details, these are the order details. So if you are using delivery notes, then you can enter the delivery note here, and all the other dispatch details if you want to enter. These are needed generally for e-way bill. So if you want to enter that, you can enter all these things here. Then order details, if you are accounting as per the orders, or if your business is required to perform as per the orders. For example, if you take order first and then deliver, so those order details can also be entered here, and on the basis of order number, Tally will pick up all the other details of the transaction. So we're going to keep it blank here because we don't have that in this particular video. Now the buyer's details, so consignee and the buyer are the same for me. If you have different consignee and different buyer, for example, if you are selling via Amazon, so your consignee will be Amazon and your buyer will be someone who actually bought, the customer who actually bought the goods. So in this case it is same. So state is Gujarat and my state is all both the states are Gujarat. So India, Gujarat. Place of supply is also Gujarat, and here the GST will come, but right now I have not entered the GST. You have to enter the exact real GST of the buyer. So we have selected the party account. Now we will select mobile 12%. So mobile 12%, we still have two quantity, so we'll sell those. Okay, not applicable, and okay, so quantity 2, and let's put the rate at 10,000 per number, so it will be 20,000 total, and end. So 20,000 total, we have put the mobile. Now what we have to do is enter the GST ledgers, so the GST will be calculated automatically. If the GST doesn't get calculated automatically, that means you have done some mistake, about which I'll talk with you later in this video, how you can rectify that. But for now, let's see if it calculates or not. So as soon as you press enter, a gray screen will appear. Here we have to enter our sales ledger. So this Amazon sales ledger has been picked up by Tally because it was previously used by me. So I will select it to sales 12%, which we have just created. So sales 12%, and you can see Tally has picked up sales taxable as the tax classification for this transaction. So this was what I was talking about while creating the sales ledger and selecting not applicable in the nature of transaction. So sales taxable in the bracket which tally has picked up. If you want to change, you can change here by selecting anything, this whole list. We have selected not applicable while creating the sales ledger. So tally has picked up automatically sales taxable. So we will select not applicable here because tally has picked up correctly. So and then press enter. Now you can see the selection is above the total. Here is a small thin line, and above that it is total of the whole line, whole column. So what we have to do, you have to press enter, and once you are below the total or the total is gone, we have to select the GST ledger. So I'll select CGST here, and you can see the GST is calculated automatically 12%. Now we will select SGST here, and it is also calculated automatically. Now what we will see is we will go to tax analysis. So you can press Alt plus A. I'm just clicking on here the button tax analysis, and we can see the detailed tax analysis of it. So 6% central tax, 6% state tax, total 12%, which is 2400. So 12% of 20,000 is 2400. So this is how the GST is calculated, and it has been calculated automatically in Tally. So let's go ahead, and you can enter the narration if you want to. I will leave it blank. So date cannot be above the current period. Okay, so I have not set the date. I'm not. Okay, I'll just put the date 1st March here. So okay, actually I have not changed the period at the beginning of the tally on the gateway of Tally, so that error was showing up. So now see, the error has been removed, and press enter. So you have successfully created the GST sales entry in Tally. So this is how you can create GST accounting entries in Tally, and in the similar way, in the exact similar way, you can create GST purchases entry in Tally as well. You just have to go to purchase ledger from here, and in party account name it will be Sundry Creditor instead of Sundry Debtor, because you are purchasing right now, and everything else will be almost same. Everything else will be same. Now let's talk about if you don't get that automatic calculation which we saw in Tally. So I got this automatic calculation. If you don't get this automatically calculated, what kind of mistake you must have made? So first and foremost, what you have to do is you have to check your GST configuration in the account, in the statutory and taxation features. So we will go there in features, then go to statutory here, and then press Y, press enter. Now here you have to first see that the state is Gujarat, or the state is same as your Sundry Debtor's state, and on the basis of that you have to select the GST ledgers. So I'll talk about it when I come back into the entry, but before that we have to check whether you have made some mistakes in the GST details. So here is the option set altered GST rate details. So press Y and press enter. So now here, if you have entered the GST rate, the GST will not be calculated automatically, because this particular rate is applicable on the entire company. So what you have to do is you have to clear all this or put it 0 and then save once again. So I have saved it, and I have saved it, and once again press Ctrl plus A and save it. Secondly, just check that your and your debtor's state are same or different. If they are different, then you have to put IGST here. So CGST and SGST will not be calculated. See, if the state, my and the debtor state are same, so if I select IGST ledger, it will not be calculated because IGST is not used in this transaction. Similarly, if your state and the debtor state are same, you have to put CGST and SGST. If they are different, you have to put IGST. So just try putting different GST ledgers and see if GST is calculated. Now, thirdly, what you have to do is you have to check the debtor ledger and see if it is GST configured or not. So you can just press Ctrl plus Enter from here by selecting the ledger of the debtor, and you will come in the ledger alteration screen. Now here just check the GST details. Here you can see GST is not specified. So if I go Y and press Enter, regular, no, just check all these details and see if there is any mistake which you have made. If it is not, if it is like this, there is no mistake. So press N and save it. Now thirdly, what you have to check is the ledger of the mobile. So if I go into the ledger of the mobile and go to set alter GST details, check here if the ledger is if the stock item has the same rate. So here we have 12% GST rate. So check that correctly. If your rate is, say for example 18%, so check it is if it is here 18% correctly entered or not. Sometimes we make mistakes, and if the rate here is different, then it will not be calculated. GST will not be calculated automatically. And also check the taxability. If it is exempt or unknown, GST will not be calculated automatically. So put it taxable and save it. Now save it once again. Save it. So mobile, Rohan. Also we have to check the sales ledger. So if I press, so this is the sales ledger which we have selected. Again press Ctrl plus Enter and see if you have entered everything here correctly as per GST. So this is just name 12%. If you enter here 12%, 13%, GST will not be calculated on the basis of this. This is just for our information that we can identify it as what percentage of GST ledger it is. But actually the details are here. So go to set alter GST details and again check here everything is correct. Is the taxability is taxable and is the rate same as per the stock item or not? If the rate is different here than the stock item, then also GST will not be calculated automatically. So press Ctrl plus A. Also see if the type of supply is selected as goods, because by default it is selected as services by Tally. So select it as goods and save it. So what you have to do is, if GST doesn't get calculated automatically for you, just check all the ledgers or stock items used in your entry one by one, and also check the GST configuration for your company in statutory and taxation. And there are 99% chances that you will find the solution, or your GST will be calculated automatically after you find a mistake where you have done. If after that also you cannot find the mistake, then Tally is like Excel. You can change many options at many places in Tally. So it will not be wise to waste time to just finding that one option, and you can instead, what you can do is you can create a new company, a sample company, and try this transaction which I have done in the video, just for knowing that everything works perfect in Tally. So in that new company, if everything works great, then it will be better that you create transactions in the new company only. Just leave the old company or transfer the transactions, but it will be better if you go to the new company, because Tally, as I said, Tally is like Excel. You cannot even remember the changes that you have made in the entire Tally. So it will be very difficult to find where the mistake is made or where the option is altered, and then step by step going into every option, it is very time consuming and not worth the time. Just create a new company and check and go ahead. So guys, this is how you can create GST accounting entries in Tally. I hope, and I just don't hope, I am very sure that you have learned how to create a GST accounting entries in Tally very easily. I have explained sales entries. On the basis of this, you can easily create purchase entries. And if you have any problems, doubts, just comment down below in the video or comment down on the Tally School blog, anywhere, and I'll help you out. It's a promise. And if you like the video, subscribe to the Tally School channel, share this video, with any of your friends who are into Tally or who want to learn Tally and with GST. So subscribe, share, and like this video if you have benefited from this transaction. You can add mobile. You can last thing just I want to say is you can add more than one stock items here. Also, you can add the charges and other that kind of ledgers before GST here. So it will all be calculated with that. So thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next video.